All right, no breaks. I'm going to go straight into this thinning. Well, maybe not straight into this. There's still some mass here. I took a couple of flakes. I want to continue removing flakes from this side because I need to. It looks like it's still fat right there and there. So I took 1, 2, 3. I'll probably take at least 2 more big flakes to get that thinner, especially right there, right here on this. Yeah. So, but I'm going to need to pressure flake that. Okay. Because pressure flaking will get it a lot more precise as far as the edge quality goes. You know, I was saying in the last video that the techniques I'm using pertain to this material only. Assume that it pertains to this material only. Okay? If you're messing up with your material after watching this video, say to yourself, well, it might be because what he was doing was particular to that piece. Okay? It might not be you. It might be just because your material is not like this material. Even though it might look the same, it might not be like this. Now, if you have Knap-Easy that you can't nap, yeah, you can follow what I'm doing because it's pretty consistent between what I have and what you have. Because it's all Knap-Easy. I'm assuming that the formula is the same. The heat to generate these ingots is the same. Everything's the same. I don't think these batches vary a whole lot, if any. Okay. Why don't I take pressure flakes to do this? Well, because pressure, believe it or not, pressure flaking drains me a lot more than the indirect percussion. I don't want to be drained during the final stages when I'm sharpening. Remember, I pace myself so I'm not all exhausted at the end. The ending is the exact place where you are not to be exhausted. The ending is the most important. That's not good. Subtle differences can make all the difference. Like right there. That's not good. I had to hit harder than I wanted to. It risks diving. Luckily, it didn't. Thank goodness for high-grade material. This is high-grade stuff. Yeah. A lot of times with lower-grade stuff, if I hit too hard, it'll dive too much or go in a weird direction, or it's just stop before the obstacle. Yeah. When it's consistent, you can rest a little bit easier, knowing that the flake is probably going to go where you're directing it. Yeah. It is a little bit steppy, but it's not too bad. It does remind me of Keokuk, a delicate Keokuk heat treat. But other than that, it's pretty much its own material. Yeah. Not similar to others. Okay, so I took off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flakes, but they're not exactly in sequence. And I did them at different stages, I guess. There was a pressure flaking episode before the last 3, you know, and that's something that you can't tell on real artifacts exactly what they did either. There could be one flake and then pressure flaking, another flake, pressure flaking, another flake, pressure flaking, another flake. Or a continuous pressure flake session and then all of these done all at the same time. Or one here, one there, one there, one here. You know, they could skip around. Or they could just be filing a little bit at each point instead of, you know, abrading everywhere. You don't know exactly how they do these edges. That's why when someone says they knew how they did it, well, they may not know the sequence of steps There's a lot of possibilities between abrading, pressure flaking, and percussion flaking. They may not have used any percussion flaking on stuff in this size. They may have used only percussion flaking on something this size. The flakes are very similar, if not identical in some cases, because they do overlap between pressure and percussion. Like this, I can do this exact flake with pressure. This one right here. It's the same angles, same diameter. I can use this diameter, or the one I'm using, as a pressure flaker and produce the same flake. Because as long as you have the same forces at the same angle, it produces the same flake. You know? All right. Let's see. I do need now to pressure flake this edge so I can... All right. But I gotta be careful not to think about it too much, because then I start going, maybe I should do this other thing. No, let's just stay on track. What other thing could I have been doing, or could I do? Well, I could start to prepare for notching. I could drive in some more flakes to make it thinner if I was thinking about notching in the corners. As an example, there's other things I could do that get me distracted from this, which is not a bad thing. It's not an exact science. You can do this in many different ways. Subtle, some of the ways are very subtle from other ways. You know, I'm saying there's many different ways, but it depends on how subtle you want to get, or what the distinctions are. If there's just very minute distinctions, just many ways. If there's not that much of a difference in distinctions that you're just trying to develop categories of different actions, then yeah, it's not that different. But yeah, it depends on how you define these different things that you're doing. So this helps me to clean off delicate edges fast. You can also crunch it like that. You can crunch it. You can also use a metal tool to crunch it. I've seen people crunch it like this to get rid of the delicate areas after they do a pressure flaking run or pressure flaking pass. That sort of thing. I'm thinking maybe I should drive some more flakes here. This side first. Yeah. Let's try that. Since this edge is already moved to this way by coincidence, or by happenstance, let's try to remove the mess that's right here that looks a little bit out of place. Do it with percussion. I can do it with percussion or pressure, but I'll do it with percussion because I'm saving my pressure flaking muscles for later, which I probably won't need very much, except for the notching. I can save my pressure flaking muscles for the notching. How's that? It is important to have no fatigue when you're notching. Yeah. Yes, is that good? I think that's good. I can do the rest with pressure if I need to refine that tip. Yes. If I do the percussion, am I taking too much of a chance? Let's see. Well, the percussion seems to be working okay on something like this. Yeah, I can do the rest with pressure. Yeah, okay, so now I can focus on doing the final thinning on this side. This side looks pretty good. There is a little bit of steppiness, but I'll just live with it. Yeah, I might be able to generate another flake to clean that out with a big bold flake somehow, but probably not. But we shall see. plan A is just to clean up this side. It may be too thin to do more cosmetic work on this side. Okay, right. You never know. I never know. Some people can plan it. If you can plan it down to the minute detail, good for you. Very good. I'm jealous. Yeah. Yeah, the edge is not low enough for this next strike. I can tell. So let's lower it. No, yeah, there we go. That didn't work. Okay. I don't have, if it doesn't work, it gets me worried. Yeah, so the previous one should have gone up to get that. But at least there's not much left. That one cleared out a bunch of stuff. But I gotta clear out that writing. Yes, yes. Well, looks like we're gonna have to make it more narrow. Every little mistake has big consequences at this stage. And it was a mistake that it didn't go very far. And I don't know what caused it. I don't know exactly. It was me because the material is great. It wasn't a defect in the material or anything. Some of you might be wondering what the ratio is right now. Now that it's at its widest. Or it was before I took that. I'll measure it here in a minute. I want to get rid of some of this while I'm here. Why? I don't know. I'm in that groove right now where I think I know how to thin that. Yeah, okay, so let's measure 3 inches by 1.5 inches. The ratio at this point, let's see, it's 36. Let's just call it, well, let's see, 37. It's not an even number. 37 divided by 5. 7:1 already, so it's quite thin. So I don't have much room to do much with this. So that when I don't have much room, I got to make sure that flake will travel. And the easiest way to take care of that, I'll guarantee that, is to reduce the width, which is going to mess up the ratio. It's going to make it less than 7:1, but I'd rather mess that up than break it or end up with a step fracture because I'm too far away. So yeah, I'm taking back the whole edge. I got to take back the whole edge anyway just to make it symmetrical. Might as well do it now. So take off a little bit at a time. Make sure I don't take off too much. I'm trying to maximize it, okay? Give you an idea of what the potential is on that particular size of piece that I've got originally. Many people want to know, okay, what size of point is there a possibility of existing from that particular piece of Knap-Easy? What could I possibly get? What is the maximum? Not enough power, or something slipped. Yeah. I think what I'm doing is I might be slipping and I might be abrading too much. All right. Scary. Did it do it? I think it did it, but hopefully it didn't crack it. Let's see. There's a step fracture right there. It looks pretty nasty. I did not crack it, which is good. Is there anything else I can do? Not much. Like I said, it's already really, really thin. Anything thinner than 6:1, your options are not very good as far as thinning more than that on any material. After 6:1, it gets pretty difficult, in my opinion. I recommend for new guys not to go thinner than 5:1. And some people mock me because they see other guys. Well, I saw a video that had more than 5:1. He's got like 9:1. Yeah, but I'm talking about beginners. I'm talking about people who have difficulty thinning. Don't go too thin. You know, work with 5:1 for a year if you have to. And then next year, maybe 6:1. And the next year, 7:1. And the next year, 8:1. Build up to it. Yeah, it might take you 4 years to get to 9:1, but it's better than never getting there. You might not ever get there if you don't proceed in a careful manner. Some people don't have that problem. They just go for it and get it. I know. I'm not talking to those guys. So I took that out just with pressure. It looks like it's pressure flaking very well. So at this stage, the final thinning is like 90% done. Okay, there's still a little bit more I can do, but I'm going to do it with pressure. And when that's done, I'll clear up all these little flakes, little chips. I gotta make it symmetrical anyway, so I gotta remove material from this side anyway. Move the edge this way to get rid of some of this mass. It's a subtle thing. At this stage, you may not see exactly why I would need to remove some mass from here. It's just a subtle thing. This is thicker than this side, so I want to try to make it symmetrical. Why? People want to see. It doesn't have to be symmetrical that way. A lot of artifacts are not. They're not symmetrical as far as thinness side to side. They're not perfectly lenticular, in other words. They may have a bulge here and there. They don't care. Or they didn't care in many cases back in the day. I think I might want to sell this one in the auction, right? Yeah. I think I have permission to sell this material. I usually try to ask now, you don't mind if I sell it when I make something? No, go ahead and sell it. I just wanted to see you do it on video. That's it. So hopefully that's the case this time. I think it's the case this time. If not, I try to write a note that this is for a special project. And I try not to do those on video. Because if I do it on video, it increases the chances of messing it up. And if I had to guarantee that it's going to get done, or pretty much guarantee, I can't be messing around and taking chances. I don't know. Do I see any necessary thinning? Yeah, maybe. I don't have to thin it. But I'm going to thin this side. So this material has some blue, some orange, and white. It's okay. Not my first choice in colors, but it looks okay. I would have left the blue out. That's okay. I got some blue chert here somewhere. Where is it? Yeah. That reminds me. I think one of the next pieces I'm going to do on video is this blue chert. Highly unusual. I don't know where this came from. It came from Bushy or Frodo Joe on YouTube. I don't know what it is as a material. All I know is it looks like it's nappable and looks like it's heat treated. And it looks blue, or a bluish gray, or a grayish blue. I don't need to thin this anymore, do I? Not really. Let's see. I am going to do it anyway. Okay, so I think this stage, the final thinning is over because I'm going to consider this final pass on each side the sharpening stage. Okay, so it's 21 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'll take a break. I'm going to clean this up, take a photo. It's 22 minutes. That's good enough for this particular segment. I'm going to go inside and check on when I'm cooking and use the restroom and do whatever else I need to do before I go to the final stage. The next stage is a different mindset anyway. I'm already done with the large flaking for the final thinning. I already did the final thinning. Yeah. So this next pass of pressure flaking is going to be sharpening. I'm going to consider it the sharpening stage or the last stage, and then I'll do the notching, or I'll do the notching first and then do the sharpening. When I come back, I'll decide. I can either do the notching now before the sharpening or the notching after the sharpening. It doesn't matter too much because it's easy to notch. Now in some cases when it's a very difficult material to notch, you want to keep everything relatively strong and wide. Do the notching so you don't snap it, and then reduce the blade width and do the final sharpening later. But in this case, it's already really thin, but the notching should not be difficult. So I'll decide when I get back. All right. So there you go. That's it for that segment.